Hello! I thought I'd try this new thing where I did the breakdown of the Infinity War trailer. You may or may not have seen it. That's fine. You absolutely don't have to. But I got a lot of responses on Twitter and social media and whatnot. I thought, hey, why not do a video and kind of talk through all the things the questions people asked and little things that I missed in the trailer, which I think are kind of worth going back to. We'll see how this goes. Might be a regular thing, probably not. Let's bloody get into it. Okay, this is from Nick MP. I think the final Infinity Stone is in Wakanda, and that's why it's being attacked by such a large force and being defended by the Avengers. Yeah, that's really interesting. There's a few theories about the final stone. It's the Soul Stone, is it? I might be wrong. I should know. I just did a bloody video on it. But yeah, no, that's come up quite a bit. There's another theory that Heimdall is the Soul Stone because his eyes are the same color and he can see all the souls in the universe and whatnot. But I think at this point that's probably the strongest theory, and it makes sense why Thanos would send like an invading army to kind of see what's bloody going on there. I just saw this as well. I got sent this through from Andrew Levins, who does the Hey Fam podcast. You should check it out. It's good. It's on like comic books and comic book movies and whatnot. It's real good. But basically, he sent me a thing that says the creatures that are invading, they're called the Outriders, and I didn't pick up on that at all. But yeah, they are. Clearly, they've got like an alien type head. They've got 4 arms, and they're genetically engineered I'm reading this. The genetically engineered humanoid creatures with the purpose of serving their makers until they die. And basically, yeah, Thanos has used them before in the comics, and this seems like a good enough place to kind of keep on doing that. But yeah, Soul Stone on Wakanda, yeah, entirely possible, absolutely. This is from Chris. Paul Rudd is on the Wiki IMDb cast list. That's usually very accurate. Yeah, I'd say almost certainly he's in the movie. I mean, he is in the movie. He just happens to not be in the trailer. There's a few other people that don't show up either, like Hawkeye and a couple of others. That doesn't mean that they're not in it at all. IMDb's it's generally pretty good for who's in what, but often when movies are in kind of an early production, a whole lot of names and actors and characters get put in there that aren't necessarily gonna turn up. I think a good example of that is for The Last Jedi, there was a character credited as Nuke Skywalker. So there was a kind of a small flurry to be like, who's this Nuke Skywalker? Is he the brother of Luke Skywalker? Is he a son? No, there's probably not a Nuke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. But hey, I might be wrong. But no, I absolutely think that Paul Rudd is in Infinity War. He's in Infinity War. I'm not sure how much of a big role he's going to play, because this obviously leads into Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is the next movie after Infinity War. So I don't know what the kind of state of that character is, or even the state of the Earth is going to be. Maybe Ant-Man and the Wasp will even be set before Infinity War if the world's like just wrecked as shit. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes. What's next? This is from Thomas. Mr. Sunday Movie said, most anticipated movie of 2017, which makes me terrified that we're repeating 2017 all over again. Look, I don't know, Thomas, what you're talking about. We could probably play that back and see if I did make such a critical error in the opening of my trailer breakdown. That seems highly unlikely. Let's give that a listen. Avengers Infinity War might be the most anticipated movie of 2018. So there you go, there's the proof. No, I really fucked that up. I worked all night to kind of get the trailer breakdown done, and there's always like a thing in it, like most of my videos that I kind of do in it really quickly, there's normally like a glaring error that I completely pass over, or a really obvious like Easter egg or whatever. It happened to be that I got the year wrong in this one, but hey, there you bloody go. This is from Bailey. And there's a picture of Wakanda, and you see bloody, what's his name, Black Panther, and there's a person he's pointing to, which is asking if it's Hawkeye. Here's a bigger picture of that. I don't necessarily think so. It's very possible that he's there. It is weird that we haven't seen any of him yet. He's got that haircut. He's got that, I was going to say sweet new haircut. It's okay. It looks kind of ridiculous on Jeremy Renner, but hey, it's comic books, man. It's all a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, even if that's not, I don't really think that looks too much like him, but you know, there's a very good chance that he's there. What else we got here? It's from Tori. Yo, Mr. Sunday Movies. Do you reckon those are Asgardians and they're dead when Loki gives the Tesseract? Yeah, that's what I put in my trailer breakdown. I think there's a very good chance that it is. They look like they could be Asgardians. It could also be a different shot. It could be from Xandar, because we know that. Well, I think I know that Thanos goes to Xandar to grab the Infinity Stone that's there, so it could be that. But no, I'd say, I know my guess is that it's Asgardians, but who knows, man? Movies so many mysteries. This is from Eric. I don't think Tony is in that Hulkbuster armor in the trailer. Yeah, I got this from a few people, and I think you're absolutely onto something. This is a minor spoiler. You can skip to this time code if you don't want to know any of this. But apparently, and I haven't seen this, I haven't double checked this. There was a Lego set that says that Bruce Banner is in the Hulkbuster suit. So for whatever reason in this movie, if that's true, then he's not able to change into the Hulk, or maybe he doesn't want to, maybe he can't for whatever reason. So he's given the Hulkbuster armor to kind of, to be able to fight. I think that's a really cool idea if that's true, seeing it like a different side of the Bruce Banner character. Eric also follows it up with, though, or what if Thanos separates Banner, Hulk, and that is Banner in the Hulkbuster armor, and Hulk is fighting by his own choice. Yeah, so that's also interesting because interesting is a relative term. In terms of comic book movies, it's fairly interesting, alright? Jesus. But you do see the Hulkbuster armor kind of fighting away, which also kind of begs the question, where is Tony Stark at this point if he's not in that? And then one of the final shots of the trailer, you see the Hulk running in. Now, I said this also in my trailer breakdown, that there's a very good chance that they can swap out any actor at any point in any of these scenes, because they've done it before. There's an example from Age of Ultron which I used. Basically, yeah, it could that kind of alludes to if that's accurate and it's not something they're going to switch out. That then we might be getting Hulk and Bruce Banner separated. I mean, with Thanos having the Infinity Gauntlet, he can pretty much do anything. So that's entirely possible. I'm going to say very possible. Who knows? Next one. Okay. This is from Steven. So Bruce Banner, in a way, has the Silver Surfer role from the comics. Yeah, I got this from quite a few people as well. So that shot where he's kind of lying in the Sanctum Sanctorum, or however you say it, I think that's right. It looks a lot like when the Silver Surfer crashed through the roof also to warn in the Infinity War comic run, where he warns Doctor Strange that Thanos is coming. So there could be that, we know that the Hulk was on that ship in space with Thor, so then he's jettisoned to Earth, and then he has an opportunity to kind of to warn people of what's going on. So yeah, that's fairly likely, I'd say. But they've obviously done a bit of a twist on it because it's a different character. Man, how are they doing it? All right, what do we got here? Oh yeah, I'm obviously just doing this off the top of my head, just spinning my wheels. So yeah, I don't know how this is going. You may have stopped watching. Who cares? Okay, what do we got here? This is from Frank. Doesn't Cap have amazing hair? Yeah, he kind of... It's pretty good. You see him flicking it about. He's got pretty amazing hair, pretty amazing beard. It's good to see him back. Slightly different look. Matt says, Spider-Man won't die, by the way. He has a sequel coming in 2019. So I said that from the trailer, it could be... Sorry, this car's going past. I normally edit that out, but I'm just probably not going to this time. Yeah, so it's kind of, the trailer might make it look like that Spider-Man dies fairly early on or is incapacitated in some way, because you see Tony Stark's kind of devastated, and then later on Wakanda, he's not there at all. That doesn't mean anything because there's a lot of actors that don't turn up on that Wakanda stuff. They could be off doing space stuff with the Guardians and whatnot. So, but the reason I think that he might kill him is because I think that would kind of raise the stakes. So where you take a character that was recently introduced and everybody really seems to like a lot, and get rid of him, at least for one movie, because we know that Homecoming 2 is coming out after Avengers Infinity War Part 2, or whatever that ends up being called. So you could kill him and then bring him back in Part 2 of the film. You could kill anybody, really, at this point. There's been some set photos that kind of hint at what's going to be happening in Part 2 that could mean that, yeah, there's going to be some people dying and coming back, and maybe we're getting some time travel, but I guess that's kind of going into spoilers, so I'm not going to touch on that too much, other than all the things that I just said then. This is from Bryce. Do you think the shadow figure in the new trailer was Bucky and not Cap? Those reflexes and a glimpse of a man bun would make more sense for the Winter Soldier. No, I think it's fairly it's Captain America as far as I'm aware. I mean, then you see him kind of step forward in the shadows, and he can catch. He's got amazing catching skills. He's always catching his shield. He's doing all sorts of catching. No, I think Bucky is at Wakanda. He's probably going to get unfrozen, maybe even in the Black Panther movie towards the end or in the end credits, and then I think all Bucky's adventures are probably going to kick off at Wakanda. What do we got? Okay. A few more. It's from Bob. Thanos could potentially bring back other MCU villains with the time gem. I don't know why he would. Just thought it would be cool to see Ultron or Red Skull again. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said, if you can bring back heroes that are dead and whatnot, then I think that would be really interesting to bring back someone like Ultron. It was that villain was okay. Red Skull, I really like the idea of. We don't really know what happened to him. He just kind of shot off into space. It'd be interesting to see him come back. I don't think he will necessarily bring anybody back. We might, if we do a bit of time travel in these movies, then you could come across these villains throughout time. But also because he's got the Black Order and he's got his army and whatnot, he might not necessarily need someone like Red Skull to help him out. That being said, yeah, if he wanted to bring back a whole lot of them, absolutely, I'd be up for that. Even the ones I think that weren't really effective, like Malekith. Sure, why not? Just, bring him back in a little cameo, but I'd say probably not, but I would like that. Okay, this is from Kane. I'll eat an entire Mack Weldon t-shirt if that isn't Bruce Banner using the Hulkbuster armor in Wakanda. Well, Kane, we'll see, won't we? I kind of want it to not be him, so you end up eating a t-shirt, but yeah. Everybody hold Kane to this. Follow him on Twitter. Kane Pritchard. He needs to be held accountable. Right, what have we got here? Okay, this one I love. This is really, really great. Again, it's all relative depending if you like this stuff. But you can see in this photo, and I'll get a bigger version up here, it looks like that Tony Stark is holding the phone that Captain America gives him at the end of Civil War, which is basically, look, we're not friends anymore. You beat the shit out of me and you took my shield. You're a real son of a bitch, but hey, look, if you ever need me, I'm still, I guess, Captain America. Here's a flip phone from the early 2000s if you ever need to contact me. But that absolutely looks like that's what that is, which is kind of awesome. It's a nice little kind of callback, and you can imagine that in a scenario where Thanos rolls into Earth, that yeah, he probably would go to call Captain America despite being punched in the face so much by him. Andrew Levins also from the Hey Fam podcast, he messaged that over to me also, because I think it was in the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates group, which is a really good kind of group that you can join on Facebook with all the Planet Broadcasting podcasts. There's a whole lot of discussions and whatnot on movies and video games and current events and whatnot. It's a pretty good community, so if you do join it, hey, don't ruin it. Be nice. All right, I'm just going to go through my Twitter to see what else we've got here before I wrap this up. Okay, what's this? It's from Danny. I have to wonder, so very little has actually been shown about Thanos in the MCU. He's established as very dangerous in Guardians of the Galaxy, but other than that, how much will the movies rely on outside knowledge? I think Marvel are generally pretty good at establishing, well, maybe not villains, but I think I'm hoping at this point that they've learnt from the mistakes with villains and they build up Thanos as this kind of impending threat. Well, no, we haven't really seen a lot of him. There was the reveal of him in the Avengers, and then we saw him in Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a very strange kind of reveal because it was just like, hey, look, here's a man who looks like a raisin, sitting in a chair. But so no, you're probably right. There hasn't been a lot of stuff kind of established about him. It's a little bit more kind of like the Emperor from Star Wars, where you hear about him, you hear, he's going across the galaxy doing whatnot, but we haven't really seen him do anything dangerous. So I'm assuming like very early on in the film, you get a good sense of who he is and the kind of threat level that he's bringing. But yeah. Interesting point. Jonathan says, do you think the raised hairs on Peter's arm is his spider sense tingling? Yes, absolutely. I think because we don't get the Tobey Maguire kind of spider sense where the camera zooms in, it goes around him and you get an up close of a fly in a paper plane or whatever. I think his spider sense is just more kind of subtle. Even though they didn't mention it by name, or you didn't get a clear indication that he's got it in Homecoming. Just the way that he's able to move kind of says to me that, yeah, he's got spider sense. They just don't make a huge kind of deal of it. This is from Vibrant Clutch. Do you think the Infinity War trailer revealed too much? I know they released it a lot closer to the release date, which I love actually. That's really, it's great. That the way that they released the Justice League one like a year and a half out was crazy. I guess they were trying to kind of get goodwill back and whatnot, but hey, anyway. Rather than maybe 10 to 12 months before, like a lot of other big blockbuster movies, I was just curious. So, did it reveal too much? I think maybe with the Vision it did, because you kind of see him in his human form. I think there were some set photos that leaked that also. But I don't know. It's hard to say until the movie actually comes out. Because I felt with Spider-Man there was a lot of stuff that was ruined in the trailers. And there was, but I still watched that movie and I was still kind of pleasantly surprised by all the stuff that they kind of didn't reveal, or just kind of even the way that things unfolded. Maybe that was just me. But I think it's probably too early to say. But yeah, maybe. Okay, I'll do one more. God, my internet's so slow. Strain internet if you've got it. It's unbearable. All right. A lot of people have also been mentioning like this movie comparatively to Justice League and what it's doing right and what DC aren't. Yeah, I think this trailer kind of. I mean, we haven't seen the movie yet. It could be be terrible, but it really kind of drives home the kind of different approaches that DC and Marvel have kind of taken. And look, I didn't even hate Justice League. I thought it was absolutely fine. But when you look at the money it's made and the way they kind of built to it, clearly it doesn't have the anticipation of the first Avengers film. I mean, everybody kind of rushed out to see that, and Justice League, not so much. I don't want to turn this into a, DC, absolute kicking, but just some of the whole universe building, you're seeing a lot more cracks as it's unfolding. There was that article released today that said Warner Brothers pushed out the release of Justice League so all the executives and whatnot and board members could get their bonuses, which is, hey man, look, it's a business. I understand you want your bonuses, but obviously the film suffered as a result of that. It definitely could have done with another 5-6 months of kind of tweaking, especially when you lose a director. Like that's a big deal. But yeah, hey, maybe they'll probably be able to write it eventually. I mean, it's not like DC haven't made good movies before, or even recently. Wonder Woman's pretty great. So there you go. But hey, look, thanks for sending in stuff. If you want to ask me questions on Twitter, I might answer some of them or whatnot. You know what? That Planet Broadcasting Great Mates place is a really good place to kind of have a discussion about any kind of comic book movie stuff. I'll link that below. I also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet that some of you may listen to. It comes out every Monday, and this Monday, we're going to be talking about the trailer in more details and whatnot. Maybe too much. We've already done 2 videos in a podcast. Maybe that's a bit excessive. But hey, also there's videos here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So feel free to check out any of those. But thanks for watching this. I appreciate it. Sorry if it's rambling and whatnot. There's very little effort into this. Probably more in the editing. I don't know. Just thank you.